Approach to the passion of their football here in this side of the bay. We welcome you to Oakland, California, Week 10 of the 1998 National Football League season on CBS, and a significant encounter between the Seattle Seahawks and the Oakland Raiders, both, of course, members of the AFC West, and both at the current time chasing the Denver Broncos, who play tomorrow night. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Randy Cross. One of those anomalies in the schedule. Second time these two teams have played in the last 3 weeks, and Oakland won the first one rather convincingly.
And a lot of that was because of Donald Hollas. Donald Hollas did a heck of a job filling in for Jeff George. And the best thing I can say for Donald Hollas is he knows what he can't do, and he doesn't try to get too fancy. But this team's all about defense, and Darrell Russell is a guy up front who's a disruptor, and this guy has a passion for the game that destroys nations. Now for the Seattle Seahawks,
Donald Hollas, number 12, came on in relief last week of Jeff George after the first series. He is 3-0 as a starter for the team, and up front he's got Mo Collins, Wiz, Graham, and Kennedy. Kaufman and Ritchie in the backfield, Tim Brown, Jett at the wideouts, and Ricky Dudley at tight end. Wide receivers split and a dead ball foul before we get underway. Tom White is the referee, and this should be a procedure call.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 72 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Lincoln Kennedy with the movement. Defensively for Sam Adams gets the start for Sally Amua today up front. Linebackers Dean Wells, Anthony Simmons, his first start, and in the secondary Springs and Williams, Bellamy and Darrell Williams. Hollas drifting back, firing it out behind the intended receiver Tim Brown, who was wide open at the 35.
and having already seen a penalty, it's something that Tim Brown and Donald Hollas and this Raider offense have to be very, very aware of, and not to fall back into a trap. You know, this is something that they've had a problem with in the past. It's the penalties. Last week they had 14 penalties, and John Gruden spent a lot of time the last week or so just drilling them on making those critical errors.
They come in with 89 penalties for the season. 2nd and 15, the handoff. Kaufman spilled for no gain at the 21-yard line by Anthony Simmons, number 51. Another jerky start for the Oakland Raiders, and Leo Aragoose on to punt for the first time. Joey Galloway, he of the great speed, waits for it at the 33-yard line. Sean Springs is the short man of 2-man back, so a 9-man front for Seattle. They bring 7. Aragoose with a short punt, taken by Galloway at the 40. 50. Splits the middle, 1 man to beat. He gets by Aragoose, no flags, touchdown. That is the 8th return for a touchdown this season by Seattle. It is the 2nd punt return for a touchdown by Joey Galloway. And the Seahawks erupt at the get-go.
Man, what a great look there. First you saw Dennis Erickson going crazy and John Gruden reacting as you would expect the head coach of a team that just allowed a touchdown return on a punt. Not great blocking on this punt return, but unbelievable speed and burst by Joey Galloway. And how you don't kick away from Joey Galloway, I don't know. He doesn't return them all, but when he gets a shot, you don't give him the ball.
Todd Peterson for the extra point. Galloway 56-yard jaunt, his 2nd touchdown. And Dennis Erickson gets a little higher this week than he did last week when the Dennis Erickson critics in the Northwest, and there are more than a handful, have decried his stoicism and have wanted him to show some more emotion on the sidelines.
Well, they've gotten the last couple of weeks. It's mainly just because this is a desperate football team. You know, and Joey Galloway would turn that punt like a desperate football player. They will do whatever it takes. Everyone has to contribute.
Peterson's 2nd kickoff in the early going. This one chases Desmond Howard 7 yards deep in the end zone. Touchback, and the Raiders will bring it out to the 20-yard line for their 2nd offensive set. And we are joined down on the sidelines by Michelle Tafoya.
All right, guys. Well, there is word that Charles Woodson may see time on offense today. John Gruden told me that he put Woodson in at wide receiver in Thursday's practice, and the whole team stopped just to watch. Woodson's been begging for this opportunity ever since he got to Oakland. Gruden says maybe the time is finally right. He may get plenty of looks, he may get none, but his offensive debut is in the very near future, guys.
All right, Michelle, double tight end set. Hollas with a bootleg, fires it out. He's got it complete down the sidelines for James Jett. the world-class speedster, and Darrell Williams catches up with him. Nice fake by Donald Hollas in the 24-yard gain.
A very nice fake inside because Chad Brown and a couple linebackers are blitzing over the middle of the ball. And everybody bites to the left. Hollas goes to the right, and this is the guy, James Jett, that has to be the most involved in this offense to open things up for Tim Brown. He's the one who goes down the field. He's the deep threat that Seattle's worried about.
26 catches now for the season for James Jett. Hand off to Kaufman, who cuts back to his left, crosses the 45, and gets to the 46-yard line. The tackle is made by Willie Williams, number 27.
Yeah, when you play or you do games for the Oakland Raiders and you're a fan and you're watching things out there, you have to look at this offensive line and the running of Napoleon Kaufman as being really the key. When they're successful, Napoleon Kaufman, who's rapped for being too small and everything else, but he's plenty strong, he's the key to this offense.
2nd down and 8. Hollas with time into the flat, caught by John Ritchie, the rookie fullback, and Ritchie barrels his way across the 45. Jay Bellamy with the tackle. 10-yard gain and a 1st down for the Oakland Raiders.
And Vern, that's one of the John Ritchie bones. Because every once in a while you got to throw a fullback a bone and make him feel better. That's his 15th reception. They do throw him the ball on occasion. One thing they don't let the rookie out of Stanford do very often is handle the ball. His job is to pound his forehead into a linebacker and open up a hole for Napoleon Kaufman.
And it shows. He's done his job well. Here's the handoff to Kaufman, who goes left, and he is caught by Philip Daniel, number 93. Terrific penetration on the run by Daniel, who got upfield.
Yeah, we talked about, passion and emotion for the Seattle.
Down at 15, Harvey Williams in the lineup. Here's Donald Hollas back to throw into the flat again, and Ritchie not able to connect. Anthony Simmons on the coverage of John Ritchie. It'll be 3rd down, 2nd down.
Yeah, one thing you can fall into a trap sometimes, and you see this Raider offense do it on occasion, is they get caught in the intermediate zone, and they don't go do stuff down the field. It's really surprising. Gruden's a Bill Walsh offense kind of a guy that likes the short stuff. This is a team that people worry about going deep. You got to give them that constant reminder.
Zone blitz on 3rd down. Here's Hollas, goes left again. Good downfield coverage. Harvey Williams is cornered by Fred Thomas, number 22. And the 3rd-year man from Tennessee makes a nice open field tackle. That will bring up 4th down.
And so far, Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator of the Seahawks, is giving the Oakland Raiders a little bit of what they gave Warren Moon last time they met. And that's pressure on the quarterback, and you keep the receivers all in front of you. Chad Brown almost gets there in time. Sinclair's getting a little pressure, but you keep the receivers in front of you, and you don't give up the big play.
Under 1:45 to go 1st quarter, and Moon pumps off his back foot, goes deep, intercepted at the goal line. Albert Lewis slipped as he made contact, and an obvious mix-up with Moon and his receivers.
Pressure on the quarterback by Grady Jackson.
Intended for McKnight.
Well, the surprise and the confusion spread to the Seattle Seahawks sideline because I don't think Dennis Erickson had a real good idea of what was going on there. Getting a little pressure. People say Warren can throw those fall-away jumpers. Well, not when an Albert Lewis is standing there. Albert Lewis has all the experience of a Warren Moon and just loves to get gifts like that.
In between the two weeks ago, Albert Lewis returned an interception 74 yards for the first return of an interception in his illustrious career. And he gets his 2nd pick in as many. Here's Hollas. They hand it off, and Napoleon Kaufman gets one. Remember we talked about 17 in a row for Warren Moon? Here's how it ended up in the Kingdome.
Well, the amazing thing is a guy that's been playing this long as Albert Lewis has and been so good, all-pro, Pro Bowls, everything else, why he hadn't had a touchdown on an interception before. He had the greatest explanation I've heard that I had never thought of. He says, hey, look, I spent my career in Kansas City in man coverage with my back to the cornerback, running with the receiver. When I usually caught the ball, I fell down immediately on top of a receiver.
Here's Hollas out of the end zone, batted back and knocked down by Cortez Kennedy, number 96.
Well, Cortez Kennedy has obviously decided today that he'd like a little piece of the action here today, and he'd like to be a factor. because that is very important, though. For one thing, Barrett Robbins, the center, to get a good snap back here. But number two, you've got to get at least 4 yards on this play. If you don't get 4 on this play, your punter, Leo Araguz, is going to have a short end zone area, a short snap from the center, and one of those situations where bad things happen. Your goal here is not necessarily a first down. You want to get about halfway to that first down.
6 defensive backs in for Seattle. Harvey Williams in the backfield behind Hollas. Hollas steps up and will run. Fumble, hit from behind. Scramble, Willie Williams misses the ball, and we'll see who got it. The Raiders do recover. Michael Sinclair forced the fumble.
And they got 8 yards instead of 4 yards.
Yeah.
There's some good planning, but you know, remember I said earlier, sometimes you have to know when to tuck it away and not try to make the play. And the defense for Seattle took advantage of Donald Hollas there. That ball was out where it shouldn't be, and Michael Sinclair and Cortez Kennedy knocked that thing loose.
Well, they get
about defense. You know, the Raiders defense is making the plays when they have to, and Seattle has just been making the vapor lock kind of brain cramp kind of mistakes.
Handoff Donald Hollas to Napoleon Kaufman on first down and 10. And Chad Brown makes the tackle, number 94.
Napoleon Kaufman, the ball carrier, stopped by Chad Brown.
Ricky Dudley is a receiver that, when the last time these two teams played, was a factor. And last week, in the game the Raiders played against Baltimore, he was a factor. He needs to open the middle of the field up for this team.
Here's the blitz, and they get to Hollas. He is nailed at the 21-yard line. Chad Brown, number 94.
Behind the line of scrimmage by Chad Brown, along with Dean Wells.
Well, now you're going to get a little bit of a feel of what it's like when a defense is after you. And just about the time you think you get away from something, here comes a tooth check. Tooth fairy. Oh, Chad Brown right underneath the chin strap. Perfect form tackle.
Chad Brown, 6.5 sacks now. Harvey Williams in the backfield behind Donald Hollas on 3rd and 15. Hollas across the middle, right in the hands of Dean Wells. And Wells with one man to help him block left side. Dean Wells to the 10-yard line. His first interception of the season. Harvey Williams catches up to him. A 25-yard return.
Well, we talked about a little earlier, Vern. You know, sometimes John Gruden knows his quarterback, Donald Hollas, will make a couple of plays, because the only reaction you can have is, what was he thinking? Because why do you throw the ball in the middle of the field right there? It wasn't really because he was getting plastered and didn't have some protection. Look at the protection. Daniels being blocked really well by Mo Collins. He gets hit late by Sinclair, but that's another one of those brain cramps.
Desard in the backfield. Moon deep left side for Galloway. Man coverage picked off by Eric Allen. Allen still has it. He's at the 40.
Eric Allen's 44th interception of his career is set up right there just by a deep attempt by Warren Moon that was nowhere near Joey Galloway. Eric Allen still on the ground, but how is Galloway supposed to run by a quality corner like Eric Allen when he's got a 7-8 yard pad? Not a chance. And Allen clearly was the only guy out there who had a good chance of catching the ball. Did a little dance there. Galloway tried to make the tackle, but on this return, something happens near the end because Eric Allen's still down.
And yet a second look. Excuse me, Randy.
You know, Vern, Tim Brown told us that Charles Woodson was the most offensive-minded cornerback he's ever seen. There's a great job of a cornerback being offensive-minded, catching that over-the-shoulder shot.
It would appear to be a knee. Greg Davis tries to get the Raiders on the board. He is 12 of 17 for the season. This one from 30 yards out. Adam True will snap it back. Whoa! From 30,
The 30-yard attempt is
he pulls it.
Well, Adam was true and Davis was goofy.
On 4th down, Jeff Feagles to punt. Desmond Howard waits at his own 40-yard line. Drifts back and takes it at the 37 to the 45-50. Got some room. He's got to beat Feagles. There are no flags. Desmond Howard, touchdown. He's not really excelled since he came here from Green Bay.
He now officially has.
Yes. 63 yards.
Two biggest plays of the game, that punt return and Joey Galloway's earlier. That's been most of the offense.
Greg Davis gets the extra point.
You saw Galloway earlier on that return just use pure speed. You know what this is? It's a couple of good blocks, one questionable one by Kenny Shedd there, but it's a lot of pure speed by Desmond Howard. Straight up the field, going to the path of least resistance, and scoring what was really looked like an easy punt return touchdown. You can't coach this, Vern. These guys are born. These are people you have to find because the average player doesn't have the instincts these great punt returners do.
Averaging, jet goes wide left. Ritchie in as a fullback in front of Harvey Williams. Handoff Williams. Down at the 1 or just inside. Darrell Williams makes the tackle.
You know, remember last week, Vern, against Baltimore, the Raiders got in this situation. What do they call first play? How about a quarterback sneak? Remember, the ball has to just crease the goal line, just the very front of that white line. They said it didn't get in, and it really, really cost the Raiders the ball game in the end.
10th play of the drive, 3rd and goal. Williams a deep back, and here's Hollas trying it again, and did not score.
He's D.
4th and goal, Hollas play fake. Hollas runs, flag is down, and Hollas is denied.
You're going to get a hold, I think, on a Raiders lineman.
And it could be declined.
Holding against the Raiders.
Holding. Number 76. Penalty is declined. First downs.
My goodness, Steve Wisniewski.
Now that's the kind of lift Dennis Erickson's football team needs. Remember, I told you about the passion. There's Wisniewski grabbing and throwing down Chad Brown. That was the penalty. Hold or not. That was a great defensive stand by Greg McMahon's defense. They had that place stuffed.
Here's Hollas back on 3rd down. Trap, caught, dropped.
Chad Brown got back there. Chad Brown is having another one of those football games today, ladies and gentlemen.
From 26 and the tie, Greg Davis. We're tied at 10. I think this is going to make the Seahawks proud. They're now in double digits for penalties. 10.
Well, they came in here and said, we got to make the big play, make the big catch. They haven't done that. They said we can't turn over the ball. They've done that. They've turned over the ball. They've had the penalties. If you kick the ball to Desmond Howard here, you're out of your mind.
Backing up at the 27. runs at the 44. He had a 63 turn from Desmond Howard. Oakland at the 44. Donald Hollas hands it off to Harvey Williams. Slips, keeps his balance, picks up 4 to the 40-yard lines.
Well, easily the biggest package and the biggest mistake and the biggest Seattle's had today has been Ricky Dudley. Deep over the middle. And let's see, shallow over the middle, and how about the big one here in the fourth quarter? Deep over the middle, setting up that last Raiders field goal. That's the guy you've got to stop right now if you're the Seattle defense.
In the last 2 weeks, over 200 yards worth of catches. 2nd down and 6. Tim Brown in motion wide to the right. Blitz coming from Seattle. Hollas with good protection goes short for Derek Brown. And he's got a first down at the 30-yard line. Brown held it out of touch all season. Has 3 today. That's a gain of 11 before Darrell Williams makes the tackle.
Well, Brown's the guy that came out of Notre Dame as the big receiving tight end who couldn't block. Now he's known as the blocking tight end who's a questionable receiver, but not today. The big weapon, they've taken the big, deep weapons away in Jet and Brown. It's been the large weapons of Dudley and Brown that have hurt him.
Brown in motion to the right side. That's Tim Brown. Harvey Williams bounces off a tackle, cuts left, and gets to the 25. Darrell Williams, Chad Brown make the tackle.
When you're in a short game like this, where suddenly the field position becomes important, penalties and not tackling properly become critical. The penalties set up this field position for the Raiders, and not tackling properly is what kills this Seattle Seahawks defense here and gives up these extra yards to Harvey Williams. A lot of want-to there.
2nd down and 6, game time. Ritchie cocked to the right side. Harvey Williams, the deep back, gets the handoff. Gets a block from Ritchie, gets another block from Dudley. Harvey Williams, touchdown!
Chad Brown had chances to tackle Harvey Williams, and he wouldn't go down. Dennis Erickson saw the key penalty, set up the field position, and bad tackling just cost the Seahawks a touchdown.
Greg Davis for the extra point. Desmond Howard scored 1 from 63 with a punt return. He sets this one up with a punt return. Harvey Williams scores it from 25 yards out. And Oakland has 17 unanswered points.
Yeah, what you have to watch.
Dennis Erickson's bunch.
There's 10 teams log jammed in the AFC trying to see who's going to go to the playoffs right now. Who's chasing Denver? Who's chasing Jacksonville? And Willie Shaw's defense right now has a chance to put some space between themselves and the Seahawks and the Chiefs and the rest of this division.
4th and 1. Waters behind Max Strong. That's Millie in motion, the 3rd tight end. They toss it to Waters. He's got the first down at the 11-yard line. Tackle made by Richard Harvey.
Nice execution by that Seattle offense. There's Willie Brown, the defensive back coach for the Oakland Raiders, but that was all execution by the Seattle offense. That's having to get that yard, and that's jamming it in the other guy's face.
Galloway and Pritchard both wide left. 1st and 10. Moon drills it. Caught Fourier. Touchdown.
He's working against Louis Riddick, Vern. He catches the touchdown in front of Louis Riddick. Remember, Riddick is in for Anthony Newman. Went out earlier in this football game. Look at the patience of Warren Moon waiting for his tight end Fourier to clear. Newman's falling, can't rip it out. and then Fourier manages to fall forward into the end zone. That is huge, but you know what? Are you really surprised Warren Moon was able to get this football team on a drive like that? That's this quarterback.
Todd Peterson for the tie. Oh, boy, just inside the left upright.
The point after is good.
Leather helmets and such. Heidi. Peterson. And Desmond Howard to return it for the Raiders from the 7. Desmond Howard out to the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Robert Wilson. Well, the Denver Broncos sitting back getting ready for Kansas City. Kansas City struggling, of course. Denver leading the AFC West with a 9-0 mark. Oakland 6-3 coming into today. Seattle 5-4. All those teams Randy mentioned fighting really for wild card position, barring a complete collapse in the Rocky Mountains. Here's Hollas. Short to John Ritchie. Flag is down. Would be an 11-yard gain and a first down if it stands. But as we said, there is a flag. That is not exactly shocking news in this game. So we have seconds to go in regulation. Here's Hollas. Coming left. Fights for extra yardage and is down at the 49. That's an 11-yard gain.
That timeout there with 38 seconds left in this half. In this ball game before any kind of overtime happens. This is plenty of time, even with a backup quarterback. I guarantee you, Vern, there's stuff John Gruden is just now unwrapping off that list he's got in front of him and saying, okay, I didn't want to use this, but now I'm going to have to.
Doubleheader for you next week on CBS. The Seattle team will go down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Many of you will see that, or Jacksonville, Pittsburgh. And then the second game of our doubleheader, the Raiders go into Mile High to take on the Broncos, and Kansas City comes out west to take on San Diego. Doubleheader next Sunday, the NFL on CBS. Greg Davis hoping he gets a chance to break the tie. Has been 1 of 1 today, 1 of 2. He missed from 30. His career-long 55 yards. Backs are split. Here comes the blitz. Hollas has it tipped behind the line, and it's a flag.
Personal foul, shot to the head. Fred Thomas, number 22, on the blitz.
Man, oh man.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 22, defense, hits it ahead, 15 yards, first down.
Here comes Fred Thomas, 22. Jumps up, and look at that. The left arm goes right across the chops of Donald Hollas, knocks that chin strap up around Hollis' nose. That's not using your head. That's stupid.
Here's Hollas on first down. Fires it to the 21-yard line. Tim Brown. 14-yard gain. Timeout Oakland. That'll be their last. 12 Seattle penalties for 127 yards. John Gruden has Don Hollas go to Tim Brown on first down.
And the part of the offense you haven't seen much of. You haven't seen Tim Brown do a whole lot today. He's been working against Sean Springs. It's been a great matchup all day long. When they really absolutely had to have it, Tim Brown found a way to get enough clearance on Sean Springs so Donald Hollas could fit him that ball. Remember, though, this is all set up by that penalty that gave him the field position that enables him to do this.
On first down, Greg Davis gets the call. 25 seconds to go, 22 officially. Araguz will hold. This will be from 38. He missed from 30 in the first half. This was in the first half of play from 30 yards away, wide left. He made it from 26, and now Greg Davis has a chance to break the tie.
It's a great opportunity to turn that miss into a yeah, but I made the big one.
Adam True will snap it. Leo Araguz will hold it. Greg Davis kicks it, and he kicks it perfectly. If this score stands, it will be a long, long night for Fred Thomas of the Seattle Seahawks.
There are hardly any non-self-inflicted wounds on the Seattle Seahawks right now. Mistakes against the Broncos.
Could be the last play of the game. Warren Moon airs it out. Intercepted by Charles Woodson. Oakland wins it.
This is a football game. The Raiders have to be proud about the fact that they found a way to win and mad about the fact of how they did it. They did it very ugly, and they made a lot of mistakes. And if you're Dennis Erickson and the Seattle Seahawks, you can be mad at no one but yourself because your receivers dropped balls, your special teamers didn't tackle, and your defense made critical errors at the worst possible time.
Final score 20-17. John Gruden may think tonight he's as old as Warren Moon. Final 20-17. Oakland, they go to 7-3. The Seahawks fall to 5-5. Coming up next, 60 minutes except on the West Coast. So for Randy Cross and Michelle Tafoya, I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from Network Associates Coliseum. The Raiders take the edge on a 38-yard field goal by Greg Davis, and they defeat the Seahawks and Warren Moon 20-17. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.
For Seattle, Desmond.
They are a perfect 10. The Denver Broncos have left no doubt as to what team is the dominant team in the NFL. The only question that remains, who, if anyone, can deny Denver's destiny? Today, Oakland invades Mile High Stadium as John Gruden and his resurgent Raiders hope to pin the first loss of the year on their arch rivals.
Behind his blockers and coming down on the right side.
Just ahead of the 227th consecutive sellout at Mile High Stadium, we welcome you to this AFC Western Division matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the unbeaten Denver Broncos. In addition to gaining an important game on the division-leading Broncos, the Raiders would like nothing better than to pin the first defeat of the season on the defending Super Bowl champions. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Denver. Along with Phil Simms, I'm Greg Gumbel. There's no question the 7-3 Raiders are a different team. They've already won 3 games more than they won all of last year. There's just a new spirit involved in the Oakland Raiders.
Well, and John Gruden has brought that spirit. He's given them reason to believe. They're very disciplined. But Donald Hollas has really done a good job. His personality, moving around, creating opportunities for the offense. On defense, Darrell Russell, an emerging star, number 96. He's just one of the reasons why this defense for the Oakland Raiders went from 30th to 2nd in the National Football League.
Meanwhile, the Denver Broncos unbeaten at 10-0 in search of a perfect season. John Elway back to start at quarterback today. He's essentially missed the last 2 weeks. He's minus wide receiver Ed McCaffrey, who has a hamstring problem, but he does have the best running back in all of football.
But he does have Terrell Davis, and Terrell Davis has been terrific all football season. He is the best running back and the best player in the National Football League. Everything they do evolves around him. Running the football, play action passes, the big plays, they come because of Terrell Davis running the football.
Not since 1972 have we seen a perfect season in the National Football League. Broncos would like to take a giant step in that direction. Kickoff when we come right back. Welcome back to Mile High Stadium, and those of you who have just watched the Dallas Cowboys defeat the Seattle Seahawks, we welcome you as well to Denver, Colorado, where the Denver Broncos, looking for an 11th straight victory, have won the toss, have elected to receive. Vaughn Hebron is deep for the Broncos. And we're underway at Mile High Stadium, and the short kick is taken at about the 25-yard line, and the Broncos will have excellent field position just over the 35. That return by Keith Burns. John Elway brings the Broncos onto the field. Here's his offense. He comes in with 9 touchdowns and 3 picks so far this season. Jones, Schlereth, Neyland, Neal, Swain from left tackle to right tackle. In the backfield, Terrell Davis, Howard Griffith returns from injury. Rod Smith, Willie Green in place of McCaffrey at the wide receiver position, and Shannon Sharp, the tight end. Elway going to throw on first down. Flush from the pocket, throws across the middle, complete. Up to midfield is number 85, Willie Green. That's a 13-yard pickup and a Denver first down. And now let's check the Oakland Raiders defense. It is a good one. Up front, Russell and Johnstone, 9 sacks apiece. The linebackers, Bolster, Beekert, and Harvey. In the secondary, Charles Woodson, the only starter remaining from the beginning of the season. Injury has depleted them at the other positions. Double tight end with Sharp and Carswell. Here's Terrell Davis, his first carry of the day, breaks a tackle, left side, first down yardage inside the Raider 40-yard line. First down Denver at the Raider 40. Play action, plenty of time, throwing down the middle. Did he catch it? No, incomplete. Rod Smith with the diving attempt. 10, to Davis. Left side, and not much there, if at all. Greg Beekert leading the charge on defense as you take a look at Mike Shanahan now.
And look at him looking at that sheet. That's the biggest play calling sheet I've seen in the National Football League. Yesterday we had a chance to talk to him, and it was on his desk, and it covers about the whole top of his desk. I mean, there's every imaginable formation and play, and it's color-coded, and I don't see how he figures it out.
He has more colored pens on his desk than anybody I've ever seen. And there's the man who's trying to figure a way to stop this Denver offense.
And Willie Shaw says the way to do it, keep it simple.
3rd and 10. Elway from the shotgun. Throws, incomplete, pass behind the intended receiver, Shannon Sharp. Well, yard field goal this season, but Mike Shanahan elects to punt it. Tom Ruin. 46.8 yard average. Lofts this one sky high. Desmond Howard bounce at the 5, and it's going to stay down there. The Broncos going to down it at about the 1. Not the best news as far as the Raiders are concerned. They'll have pretty poor field position when we come back. Branch in his second year out of Colorado State. Some people never learn that rule.
Yeah. Well, we saw earlier in the year the New Orleans Saints picked one up out of the end zone and ran it 80 yards against the New England Patriots.
First down from the 7-yard line for the Raiders. They'll start on the ground with Napoleon Kaufman trying to come around left end. Stiff arm gets him out to about the 10-yard line. And it'll be second down. Donald Hollas on this, his 31st birthday. 4-0 as a starter for the Raiders. And here's his offense. Mo Collins, Wisniewski, Barrett Robbins, Derek Graham, and Lincoln Kennedy. From left tackle to right tackle. Napoleon Kaufman back from injury, and John Ritchie. Tim Brown and James Jett the wideouts, and Ricky Dudley is his tight end. Raiders with 2nd and 6 from the 11. Time Kaufman tries the right side, nothing there, and he gets buried by Ma'atanuvasa. Williams in the Oakland backfield on 3rd and 11. Hollas going to go deep down the sideline, incomplete. Intended for James Jett, looking for a call and won't get one.
Good smart call by the Oakland Raiders. Donald Hollas doing the right thing. Down in your own end zone. Don't take a chance. Look for that play down the sideline where you can either get a big play or you don't turn it over. So the big thing is when you're coming out from your own end zone, don't make the mistake.
2nd and 20 now from the 30. Elway almost bobbled the snap. Throws a bullet, and that's complete to Willie Green. That's a pickup of 5 on the play. And John Elway has now gone over 50,000 yards passing for his career. And the crowd comes to its feet.
Now they see it up on the board.
$50,002 to be exact.
Pretty special, John Elway. The Denver Bronco fans know it. Watch the last play. Shotgun formation. Almost missed it. Just flicks it in the air. Looks down the field and throws one of these, well, one of those laser shots that he's done so many times.
Field goal attempt. Elam has not missed a field goal attempt this year. They barely made that one. But as they so often do, Elway and the Broncos get on the board first. 50,000 passing yards. Little history being made here in Mile High Stadium today. With Denny Mims, Greg Gumbel back at Mile High Stadium in Denver, where the Broncos have grabbed a 3-0 lead. Raiders with the ball first down at their own 29-yard line. And Donald Hollas goes back to work. He's going to throw, flips it out to Kaufman. Kaufman dances inside a tackler across the 35, out to about the 37-yard line.
Well, that's what you need to do. The Oakland Raiders, they've got to find ways to score some points today, and that would mean have Napoleon Kaufman break some long runs. But I like this. Find ways to get the ball to him on the fringes so he can make some people miss.
Napoleon Kaufman telling us he's wearing some high-top shoes today and a brace on that sprained ankle. Hollis flips it to Kaufman this side. And slides down across the 45 at about the 46-yard line.
You know, Greg, wearing the high-top shoes and braces on both ankles. And look at on the right ankle, you can see all the tape. Well, I wouldn't even be able to run if I put that much tape on my feet. But what happens is, and we had a little laugh with him last night talking to him, he just can run so fast, and he's so quick. When he plants his foot, he just rolls the weight over on it. That's why he's had a little ankle problems the last couple of years.
First down, running straight ahead and not getting very far. Appeared to be no gain at all for Kaufman. Defensive coordinator Greg Robinson.
Greg, in the last couple of weeks, you know, we asked Mike Shanahan, what do you want to do to your team to improve it? And he says defense. 2 weeks ago, they were 19th in the NFL. And after the last 2 games, they moved all the way up to the 9th. And they're taking care of the little things, making sure they don't make those mistakes. And also, they're not blitzing as much, which that means they're not giving up those big plays every once in a while.
Hollas on 2nd and 10, throws it out near side, completes 45 across the 40, and down close to the 35-yard line is Derek Brown. 16-yard pickup.
Well, Derek Brown, the second tight end, when he comes into the football game, usually goes to the weak side, and this time nobody even sees him. And Donald Hollas, if you had a chance to watch the Raiders play the last few weeks, likes to throw the ball to the sideline and short, and then when it's not there, he does a good job of moving around and creating plays.
Harvey Williams into the lineup is flanked as a wide receiver to the top of the screen for the Raiders. Hollas trying to escape the rush, can't get away from it, and he goes down at about the Denver 46-yard line. Bill Romanowski.
You take a chance, look at the time of possession. The Raiders, they've only been out there for a couple things. The Raider offense, you need to come out, get it going. They've had a couple first downs, but they can never get that second one. The other is the Raider defense, can never just stop the Broncos 3 and out.
Hollas over the middle, incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Ricky Dudley.
And Bill Romanowski back there hitting Donald Hollas. And a lot of times what separates the Denver Broncos from the rest of the league, when they get up like this 17-0, they don't sit back. That last play illustrated it. They went after quarterback. They wanted to make a mistake here and put this game out of reach completely.
Hollas over the middle, Dudley in and out of the hands. Incomplete just across the 30-yard line.
Greg, they're trying to end the game right now, and look what happens. This time, the Broncos, they send everybody. Look at the blitzers coming up. Here comes John Mobley around, number 51, not even blocked. And man, Donald Hollas gets killed by his left tackle, Mo Collins.
One minute to play here in the first half. 3rd and 10 for the Raiders. Hollas with time, throws complete. Across the 30, and a late flag is thrown. 14-yard pickup to Terry Mickens. And we'll wait for the call from Ron Winter. Hollas throws far side. Harvey Williams out of bounds.
You know, that was a big first down for the Raiders, and I believe if they get stopped, they punt, the Broncos probably would have had a chance at worst to get 3 more points put on the board. So they needed that first down for nothing else, just to stop the Broncos from scoring more points.
Down to 48 seconds on the clock. 2nd and 5. Only their 4 first downs today. Oakland, incidentally, out of timeouts. Hollas throws complete. Mickens, 40, 35, out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And now the Raiders putting themselves in position to get on the board before halftime.
Good job by Donald Hollas. He checked off what he did. He changed the protection so he could pick up the blitz. Watch Harvey Williams. He picks up Ray Crockett, and then he uses mobility, steps up in the pocket, and finds Mickens running down the sideline. That's what the Raider offense needs. It needs for Donald Hollas to move around, make those type of plays.
First down, Raiders at the Denver 29. Hollas pulls it down, goes up again over the middle, complete, Dudley, touchdown! Ricky Dudley dropped 2 passes earlier in this possession, held onto this one over the middle for the 29-yard scoring play.
Well, what a turnaround just to pick up 1 first down to keep this drive going and then come back with 2 terrific plays. Look at the protection. Donald Hollas stands in there. That was some job by him of doing that. Bill Romanowski tries to hit Ricky Dudley at the line of scrimmage, loses that battle, falls behind, gives up the touchdown.
Dudley almost lost that one too. Held on, fell across the goal line. Greg Davis, the extra point attempt is good. Terrific job by the Oakland Raiders to come back before halftime and get 7 points on the board.
Yeah, what a surprise, and that was done. 2 things I saw that play that really stuck out. Donald Hollas really hanging in the pocket. The offensive line giving the time, but Ricky Dudley beating Bill Romanowski right at the line of scrimmage. That's what created the touchdown.
There's a look at Hollas on his 31st birthday today.
And Donald Hollas, you know, we met him.
Call himself a quarterback by default?
He goes, I'm a career quarterback by default. And, you know, he's so unassuming last night. And it was, you know, the team, I think they like playing for this guy because he competes hard, gets out there. He told a funny story about last week. He threw a really bad interception. He says after he throws his second one, the offensive line, they all turned around and started yelling at him. What are you doing back here? And I said, boy, I don't think I've ever had my offensive lineman yell at me before. But he's really did a terrific job of stepping in 4-0 as a starter, and that's how he's been getting it done. That last drive really illustrated what he's done in his 4 starts so far this year.
In the games that Hollas starts, the Raiders are scoring over 21 points a game. In the games Jeff George has started, They're just over 15 points a game.
It looked like the game could have been over. Third down, long. They make a good throw and catch. They pick up the first down, and then Donald Hollas did what he has to do for the Oakland Raiders to have a chance to win. Move around, create those plays, and just be a tough quarterback. I mean, I think Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos, kind of said it best. He says, the guy just kind of knows how to play quarterback, and that's what he does. He says, I won't make the big mistake to kill the team. Just hang in there, somehow make some plays to give you a chance.
As we mentioned earlier, this is a Raider team that has been battling injuries big time. Jeff George out with a torn groin muscle. Eric Allen is out for the year with the torn ACL. Eric Turner, the free safety, sprained a foot against San Diego October the 11th, hasn't played since. The left tackle, Pat Harlow, gone for the regular season. Napoleon Kaufman, we mentioned him, and sprained left ankle. Anthony Newman not playing today with the ankle and toe. And James Trapp has been bothered by a bad knee.
You know, you would have saved us a lot of time. You could just told us who was healthy. I mean, we'd have got it done quick. But, you know, there's Eric Turner. We just saw he was off to a terrific start at free safety. And he was a big loss, I think, for the secondary. Just, you know, a veteran, big hitter, everything you'd want in a free safety.
Newman out. Eric Allen gone for the year. Eric Turner, they're hoping to get him back soon.
Well, you know, Mike Shanahan was talking about the corners. Charles Woodson, how good he's been this year, and Eric Allen, who is now out for the year. He thought that was the big difference in the Raiders football team this year, how well they play at the corner.
Denver has one timeout remaining. They're not going to use it. They're going to 1970. Broncos, Redskins, the Giants in 1990.
That's right, I was there.
Were you?
Yeah, we lost at 11 when done. And the 12.
Who beat you?
We lost to the Eagles, who were a pretty good team back then.
Mike Shanahan says this perfect season pursuit is a good thing. Napoleon Kaufman back into the backfield on first down. Hollas hits one way, throws another, got Tim Brown again. And Brown to about the 42.
Greg, you talk about it. What happens? They get the Broncos 3 and out, and now you can see the Raiders. They had a series. They got off the field. Now they're back on real quick, and they're in rhythm. They're making things happen. The offensive coordinator, John Gruden, he's over there, the head coach. They're calling the plays. It's so much easier when it goes like this.
Pickup of 7 on the play. It's 2nd and 3. And Hollas going to walk away and call a timeout. Momentum, 3rd and 2 at the 30. Play action fake. Hollas throws, got a man. Derek Brown across the 15-yard line. That's a first down for the Oakland Raiders.
Boy, what a play. Now, that's the play I've been asking for all day. See, I'm a frustrated coach up here, but watch Derek Brown go across the field. Now, watch Donald Hollas. Boom, right in his face, but what a good job finding your second receiver, throwing it over John Mobley with just the perfect touch to get the completion.
3 chances to convert a 3rd down, and they have made all 3 on this drive. First down from the 14. Play action again. Hollas throwing, end zone, touchdown! James Jett with the 14-yard catch. And look at the Raiders.
Well, they've got it going. The Raiders, they got the Broncos defense. They got it off balance. They're mixing up their plays well now. And what they've done, they've got Donald Hollas into the game, putting him on the edges, moving him around, and he is making it happen. And James Jett, good job seeing the quarterback get outside, make a little adjustment, and a good throw and catch.
Greg Davis for the extra point. The snap is good. The kick is perfect. 5 minutes, 6 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. What a terrific drive by the Oakland Raiders. Hollas to James Jett. It's a 17-14 Broncos lead. 3rd and 12. Hollas with time over the middle. Intercepted! Ray Crockett underneath the intended receiver for the pick.
Hollas, he hung in the pocket. He waited. Watch this. Tim Brown's going to come across the middle, but look at Ray Crockett. He shadows him, and then he comes underneath to make the interception. The ball's going into the wind. It looks like it knocks it down a little, knocks it to the right, and it makes it go behind Tim Brown just enough where Ray Crockett, cutting underneath, can make the interception.
Now first down for the Broncos at the Oakland 30, 3rd and 12. Hollas goes down. 4th sack of the day by the Broncos. Tanuvasa led the charge.
Boy, what a surprise. Just an added gift. Tanuvasa, number 98 for the Denver Broncos. Neil Smith forces him up. Tanuvasa from the inside gets the tackle. But the Broncos just have numerous defensive linemen who can run, put pressure on the quarterback. They get to Donald Hollas that time.
Aragoose kicking to Darian Gordon from the 35. Dodges a tackle, cuts inside, midfield, 40, cuts back inside the 25-yard line, and the Broncos again in scoring position. 42-yard punt, a 42-yard return.
Well, always in returning punts, the most important thing to do, if you can make that first wave miss you, and Darian Gordon that time, watch what happens. Once he makes that move, that second move, he cuts it up. Now you got a chance to gain some big yardage. And good blocking down the field by the special teams players of the Broncos. Everybody hustling, make a great play out of it.
Darian Gordon came into this season number 1 in NFL history in punt return yardage for a career. Elway from behind loses the football, and the Raiders have it. James Harris recovers the fumble, and Lance Johnson. Quick pass, batted into the air, intercepted. Neil Smith, and the Broncos get the ball right back.
Well, the Broncos, when things get tough and they get tight, they just apply the pressure. That time, 3rd and 6, blitz the quarterback, get as much pressure as you can on him, and then it's a short drop by Donald Hollas, and the defensive lineman, the good thing to do, watch this. They reach up, hit the ball in the air. Good job by number 91, Alfred Williams. And then Neil Smith says, man, I was a running back in high school. Well, I used to be a good running back.
Get out of my way.
Yeah. Oh, now don't fumble. Spreading to the sideline.
What do you think, he's a quarterback?
Oh, no. The 10, the 5. See, I always want to do a little play-by-play, so I just did some there. Felt good.
4 minutes remaining.
I think I can do these games by myself.
Hollas throws, complete. Mickens hammered down by 3 Broncos at the 40. 16-yard pickup, and that'll be an Oakland first down.
You know, as a lot of people probably watched this game today, 33-14. It was close there for a while. Everybody kind of makes the same mistake. They go, see, the Broncos, they can be beat. Why? Because they got close? You know, you got to continuously somehow avoid the pressure they're going to put on you.
John Ritchie with the pass reception out of the backfield for about a 5-yard pickup. Bronco defense has chipped in with a couple of interceptions today.
But you got to admit, we saw a shot of John Gruden. Watching the Raiders, it is an entirely different team from last year. Just the attitude, the way they play, they never give up.
Crockett went for the pick, didn't get it. Mickens, 35, down to the 32-yard line. Crockett went looking for his second interception of the day and just missed it. And the Raiders going now without a huddle, 2:50 to play. Hollas, quick drop, gets rid of it, intercepted! Tyrone Braxton to the 20, cuts back, the 10, one man beat and he can't beat him. Tim Brown got him inside the 5. 2-yard return by the 12-year veteran out of North Dakota State.
Tyrone Braxton, he's in there playing because Eric Brown is hurt. A veteran lost his starting job this year. Still a productive player at safety. What happens is, watch Donald Hollas. He waits too long. The safety reads it. Boy, he's been waiting for that all day long. And as he's running down the field here, oh, I'm getting tired. Good job of cutting back right here, but that took a lot of energy out of his legs. And he's tackled just short of the end zone. And you know, you look on the other side of the field, you see John Gruden and his team has made such a good turnaround. The defense, that's the most amazing thing. From 30th in the league, the worst, coming into this game, they were the second best in the NFL. Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, he's the man responsible. He's got the players believing. He's a teacher. He takes care of all the little points. And, you know, even though they gave up 40 points today, they still gave a good effort and were well coached.
Before this game, 34 had been the most Oakland had given up this year, and that was in week 3 to these Denver Broncos.
And, you know, there's another guy, Willie Shaw, talking about guys who are going to get a chance to get a head job. I believe he's going to get a chance. And I asked him, I said, you know, would you look forward to that? And he said, of course he would. And he says, if somebody would give me an interview, they won't be disappointed. I don't know if they'll hire me, but I won't disappoint them. And after hearing him talk last night, I have to agree.
He has done good things with this Oakland defense. This is a team, as we said, that won 4 games all of last season. Elway with the kneel down and 33 seconds remaining. And that'll do it. 11 games, 11 wins for the Denver Broncos, and the juggernaut rolls on.
And you get a chance once again, even if you play the Denver Broncos tough and hard, for 2 or 3 quarters, you got to hang in there because they're going to keep on coming.
Final seconds tick off, and it's still perfection. Once again, the final score, the Broncos 40 and the Raiders 14 tonight on CBS. Long from Denver.
We have the black version of number 32.
Throw that away. Give me
and
the
we
red
have
one.
the, you want the red?
Absolutely.
Really?
I want the people of Kansas City to know
sign the
right
black
now.
one?
I'm not going to sign that. Don't worry, Kansas City. Listen, you're talking about this rivalry. The first time I went to Kansas City and had a meeting about the Raiders, it was incredible. I was shocked by what I heard, the intensity. Everybody was excited. They were fighting in practice. Everybody was just wanted to win this game in the worst way. And you know what? I felt right at home because I wanted to win the worst way, too.
How about that? He chose the Chiefs.
In the modern era of professional football, no 2 teams represent the competitive spirit more than the Oakland Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. Their history and tradition has made legends of their former coaches and owners. Al Davis and Lamar Hunt are 2 of the most influential figures in the creation and success of the old American Football League. Their fierce rivalry has provided indelible images that are entrenched in football lore.
We got a first down. It is brought down at the 28-yard line. Here's a flag, and there's Ben Davidson being jumped on by one of the Chiefs. There are at least 8 Chiefs. Here come all the Raiders. Holy Toledo, it's a free-for-all.
Oakland 27, Kansas City 22. Back into the pocket, rush from the outside. Gerdbach throwing for the end zone. Got it deep. He got a touchdown. 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 Kansas City.
The Chiefs and the Raiders, almost impossible to mention one without the other, linked together in history by heroes of a bygone era. In 1998, the Chiefs have had one of their most disappointing seasons in their history. A shockwave to the organization that could prompt a tidal wave of changes. Oakland started out 1998 with a promising 6-2 record under rookie head coach John Gruden. But a 4-game losing streak eliminated the Raiders from the playoffs for the 5th straight year. leaving them to play only for the pride of a winning season. It's the Raiders and the Chiefs, a throwback game from another era, a rivalry that has stood the test of time. Jordan in the backfield in a tie game. Play action, Wilson pulls up and drills it. Caught by Jet out to the 29-yard line. Donnie Edwards and Reggie Tung with the tackle.
How about that? Obviously, he's a guy that likes to sleep in, both before the game and at halftime, because he peaks a little late.
And for the afternoon, Wade Wilson, 12 of 17 for 123, on for his third start of the season. And all three in succession. Here's Wilson right side, caught by John Ritchie, the fullback, the rookie from Stanford. Anthony Davis makes the tackle.
Hey, you watch in the next couple of years how much bigger weapon John Gruden makes out of John Ritchie. I mean, this year he's used Ritchie predominantly as a lead blocker, and the guy's got a head like a rock, so he's a good lead blocker. He doesn't mind getting in there and mixing it up with linebackers. But he played at Stanford. He's a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run it every once in a while. He can be effective doing it. He's another guy I think is a big new weapon next year for Gruden.
On 2nd and 7, blitz coming. Oh, Wade Wilson went down. And now a flag is thrown. Wilson grabbed his left hip and went to the ground.
We're immediately reminded of that groin injury that George suffered in that game against Arizona, where he's just kind of running to the right and suddenly just seized up.
Donald Hollas, of course, is next in line. Jeff George still suffering from the groin injury. And here is Donald Hollas out of Rice.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 59, defense, helmet, contact, automatic, first down.
Well, a key here, too, is you've got an obviously defensive player, just completely defenseless player. Watch Wilson as he goes to plant. He falls down. Look at the head-to-the-head contact by Donnie Edwards. I made a comment earlier about what a smart player Donnie Edwards was, and that one right there was not a very smart play.
Wilson on the sideline, and Donald Hollas, who came on in place of Jeff George after that injury at the Arizona game and had modest success, was finally benched for Wade Wilson 3 weeks ago. Here's the handoff to Randy Jordan. Well, this season kind of turned around for the Oakland Raiders. They went into Arizona on October 4th. Here's the injury to Jeff George.
And very similar from the standpoint of doesn't look like much, and suddenly the Raider quarterback's grabbing him and limping. And much like Wilson's was. Wilson side shuffling back, usual type of thing, just dropping back for the pass and in the same general area type of injury.
Now Donald Hollas for the season better than 1,600 yards. He's got Tim Brown. McMillan with the tackle, but Tim Brown got loose in the secondary. That's a gain of 27.
And that's the kind of play I think that John Gruden got so excited about with his young quarterback Donald Hollas when he got his shot earlier in the year, is the fact that he threw interceptions and he did some things that he didn't like on occasion, but when he got in there and he got his shot, he's willing to stand in there, take a good shot from a guy coming into his face and get the ball to his receiver. Donnie Edwards right into the quarterback right there, just eases up and still gets the contact on Hollas, but Hollas didn't let that bother him.
Here's Hollas with a play fake, steps up, goes deep left side. Incomplete. He couldn't make the connection to Tim Brown. Coverage from James Hasty, number 40.
Hey, you got to remember, too, Wade Wilson's taken all the snaps this last week. So Donald Hollas is in a situation where he knows he's the number 2 quarterback, not taking many snaps, knows it's the last game of the season. Come off the bench after an injury like this. The game like this is a definition of the term. You've got to be ready to come in at any time for backup quarterback. Preseason, last game, whatever.
And it's 2nd down and 10. Hollas tries to shake the tackle. Leslie O'Neal wraps him up at the 34-yard line. It will be third down. Now let's check in with Michelle Tapoya.
Well, Vern, Randy, according to the Raider medical staff, it is Wade Wilson's left groin that is bothering him. They are checking on it. His return at this point is questionable. We'll let you know when we have more.
And that obviously sets up, too, Jeff George. We showed his injury in Arizona. He's here as the number 3 quarterback today. Yeah, he's kind of half stretching out his legs here. Sort of, he's not intending to go in, but he's going to keep things a little bit warm just in case.
On your right, you saw the CBS first down line. Here's Hollas. He'll run. He's got a little bit of room. He's going to come up short of the first down, but he went head first. Anthony Davis says no.
Well, what this play here really sets up is exactly what John Gruden talked to Michelle Tafoya about at halftime is, when we get our opportunities, we got to take advantage of them and try them. And here's a chance where Hollas had the opportunity and wasn't able to take advantage of it. And Anthony Davis points out it's not a first down. But now what's the next opportunity is Greg Davis has already missed field goal.
Missed from 41, kicks this one from 44. Adam True will snap it. Araguz will hold it. Here comes the rush. That one, like the center's name, is True. The tie is broken. 17-14. Oakland reclaims the lead. Wade Wilson starting his 3rd successive game for the Raiders and playing very well. Went out with a groin pull a moment ago. And on that 3rd down scramble, Donald Hollas came up short of the first down and then limped over to the sideline, favoring a groin. And, of course, Jeff George injured his groin October 4th, was out, came back, tried to play the first half on November 29th against the Washington Redskins, re-injured the groin. So, quarterback problems for the Raiders. Here's Vanover at the 13. Vanover down at the 34-yard line. Friday, January 8th.
It's in horses. You can't go wrong, I guess.
Donald Hollas, 31 years of age in his 6th season. He has had more playing time this year than in any. Donald Bennett in the backfield behind Gerbach. Play fake. And they find Derek Alexander. He snips, keeps going, splits the middle, and is all the way to the 29-yard line. Andrews and Bennett. This is Bennett in motion. Gerbach across the middle. That might be short of the first down. We'll see where the spot is. Gonzalez makes the grab.
It's going to be about 2 feet short of the first down.
There's the spot.
Now, this is a situation, too, where offensive linemen say go for it. They've got that mentality. Go for it, coach. Go for it. And good veteran coach.
Tony Richardson. 4th and a foot and a half. Delay a game. No, motion call. Beg your pardon.
False start on the offense. Number 61. Illegal snap. 5 yards. 4th down.
Well, that makes Marty Schottenheimer's decision a little bit easier. What Tim Grunhard was called for is that they get some movement in there by the arm. Didn't really see much going on there by Tim Grunhard exactly what he was doing, but Albert Lewis sure liked that call, the fact they threw that flag.
Stoyanovich for the tie. And he knocks that home. So once again, we are tied. This time 17 all. 3:53 to go in the 3rd. Wait for it at the 5. Desmond Howard at the 10. Still to the 23-yard line. Tackle made by Minuski. And Donald Hollas warming up on the sideline during the break, and he'll give it a go.
One more time on what happened on that penalty. Watch Tim Grunhard right there. Watch that left hand and the motion. It won't be much, but look at the quick motion with the left hand. Bang. See that? Now watch Harvey, 52, the linebacker, pointing in there saying, hey, he moved. It takes the umpire a while, but he finally gets that flag out. I don't think the Chiefs had any intention of snapping that. The whole idea was trying to get somebody to jump it.
Jordan gets the give from Donald Hollas and goes left, loses yardage. Donnie Edwards, Derek Thomas, 59-58.
And another play by a Kansas City defender in the other guy's backfield. Anthony Davis is in obvious pain there. Gorgian is the number 3 quarterback, because remember, after you put the number 3 guy in, if it's not late in the game, he can't come. The rest of the other 2 guys can't come back in.
Ron George takes his place on 2nd and 12. Here's Hollas, and he finds a receiver, Tim Brown, at the 33-yard line.
Well,
made by Jerome Woods.
Chiefs defense did exactly what I was talking about. They came after Hollas, but Hollas used all the time he got. Look at Tim Brown, just clears the linebacker, 54 favors in that zone, and Hollas gives him the ball because Hollas did not have any more time to hold on to that ball.
Report from the bench, a thumb injury for Anthony Davis, and his return questionable. Here's Hollas, left side to Jeff, to the 47-yard line. Jerome Woods with the tackle, but a gain of 21.
Donald Hollas has made a few things happen. He's brought the little oomph and sizzle to this offense.
Against this team, he's come on with a sack, and now a fumble recovery, return for the touchdown, 42 yards. Derek Thomas, Donald Hollas was stripped as he rolled left, hobbled by a bad groin. Leslie O'Neal got to him.
It's all set up for that defense, knowing you got to sit and duck and taking advantage of it.
Stoyanovich. Desmond Howard. Tackle made at the 27-yard line. Now Jeff George last saw action against Washington November 29th. We did not expect to see him, but we do.
And he's in the ball game simply because John Gruden knows Donald Hollas is a sitting duck. He's got to bring a quarterback in that at least can move around a little bit, and he's got another quarterback with a bad groin.
Injured, serious groin pull, October the 4th in Arizona. Tried to come back, didn't. Donald Hollas also with a groin pull. Wade Wilson also with a groin pull.
Well, you know the guy with the old pull can move better than the guy with the 2 new ones.
First down and 10. And the clock stopped now. There's a conference going on the Raiders sideline at the 35-yard line. John Gruden, the 35-year-old head coach, completing his first season as the boss of the Raiders. There's the handoff. Well, remember that celebrated confrontation, June Jones, Jeff George in Atlanta that led to his release and being sent here? Donald Hollas, after the fumble, when he was hit by Leslie O'Neal, walked past John Gruden. This is a moment ago, and here's the conversation. Lip readers know exactly what he said. Gruden looks over his shoulder, and Hollas is now on the bench. We saw Cordell Stewart, Bill Cowher get into it in Tampa a couple of weeks ago. Here's the flip. George. Jordan.
And I'll mention again what Jeff George being in the game means. He came into this game as the number 3 quarterback. So you put him in as a number 3 quarterback, you bought him, you own him. Rest of this day, he is your quarterback unless somebody else out there can run a fantasy camp and Jeff George goes down because the other 2 guys can't come back in.
3rd and 12. Time.
You got Jeff George in the ball game too. A lot of things come into play here now. You're talking about a new snap count, guy they haven't heard for 5-6 weeks. You're talking about the center has to anticipate the quarterback in a different way. The linemen hear him in a different way. And the receivers have to sort of drop back into his sync.
Quick setup and a quick release. And Terry Mickens makes his first catch of the day. And that might be enough for a first down.
We got a Chief down on the field. Mark McMillan, number 29, the cornerback. Well, you know you got a Jeff George back there, and you're one of the offensive linemen for the Oakland Raiders. You also better darn well know they can't hit him. They can't sack Jeff George. They can't force his quarterback out, so that puts a premium on the tackles, specifically Lincoln Kennedy and Mo Collins over on the left side, because we've seen Leslie O'Neal get a big hit that caused a fumble on Hollas. We've seen Derek Thomas come off the other side and make some big plays. So the premium right now is on protection for the Raiders. Because they're down by 7, they got to throw the ball.
Robert Williams on in place of Mark McMillan. Dale Carter, as we told you, is on the inactive list today. And Jeff George in at quarterback. There's Williams. And Mark McMillan is back on the field.
Hey, Mark McMillan's one of the smallest guys, if not the smallest guy in the NFL. And for his size, one of the first things that always comes out of most people's mouths is his toughness when you ask him about Mark McMillan.
5'7", 154. Here's George back. Deep left side. Almost picked off by Jerome Woods. It was intended for James Jett.
Well, Jerome 2 yards a crack right there, but that's the quick toss. That's just get a short side of the field and yank that thing out there and let Jordan use his speed.
3rd and 8, Oakland at their own 40, trailing by 7. Oops. 3rd down. George back. Tim Brown. Fumble. Scramble. And it appears the Raiders get a fortunate bounce. Yes, they do.
James Jett comes up with that ball off that fumble. We talked about earlier how when you got Tim Brown working as wide receiver, if you can't get him down the field, let him get air around him. Let him be a punt returner. Positive play. Oops. Negative play. Good timing by James Jett being there to pick that ball up, because Ron George caused that fumble. See George come in, knock the ball out of Brown's hand. Look at James Jett just right there. Almost let it get away.
28-yard gain and a first down. Randy Jordan, nothing doing as he's hit initially by Ty Parton, number 97. Well, next Sunday.
I think you don't want to mess with if you're a good team is Buffalo. Buffalo, I think, is the most dangerous team in the AFC.
2nd down and 10. George fires it deep for Brown. Contact. No flag. Brown and McMillan bumped at the 5.
Well, I think what you have to keep in mind on this one is, was there contact? Heck yeah, there was contact. Was the ball catchable regardless of the contact? And when does it occur? Here comes McMillan. He's closing. There's the ball. I don't think Tim Brown would have had a chance in the world of getting that ball regardless of the contact. That ball is well over his head, and the contact comes about the same time the ball passed over his head. There's nothing wrong with that. The Raider fans don't like it, but that's good defense.
Backs are split on 3rd and 10. Harvey Williams back, and here comes another flag.
Takes a lot more time than you think.
Tim Brown has gone 8 for 108 yards. He is split wide right. Mickens in the slot, and Jett to the left side, and a timeout called. That's the first used by the Raiders. 15, back split behind Jeff George. Chiefs bring 4. George finds John Ritchie as a safety valve, and he's down at the 36-yard line. Edwards. And it will be 4th down.
And puts Kansas City backed up. They're down by 7 points. They need to start creating a field advantage to their field advantage to them. Don't kick us in the end zone. Huge mistake, missed touchdown.
That one's a little too... No, it's not. Wow. Obviously, I thought for a moment it was going in the end zone. Turns out to be a terrific punt by Leo Araguz. 34 yards on the punt. Down at the 1. Play fake, Gerbach. Pulls up and lets it go, and it is taken incomplete. Intended for Gonzalez.
What a nice play by Albert Lewis. Elvis Gerbach does a good job of escaping and evading the problems. Look, he's getting pressure. He's got to get out of the pocket. He does everything he can. Now watch Albert Lewis. Look at the close, and the left hand gets in there and knocks that ball away. Left hand, not on me, Albert Lewis says.
16 years in the league, probably his last game. Nice job defensively. They stopped Tony Richardson. And let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Vern, given that this is probably, as you said, Albert Lewis's final NFL game, I asked him what the ideal way to close out his playing career would be. He said, I'd like to have 3 interceptions, all returned for touchdowns. I'd like all my linebackers and linemen to make their tackles, and of course, I'd like us to win. And if he gets that win, this would be Lewis's first winning season with the Raiders, Vern.
All right, Michelle. And his team looks at Elvis Gerbach now, 3rd down. Threw it away. And he had a tight end open at the 12-yard line.
I tell you, he just couldn't hold it.
Howard goes back to his right, catches it over the shoulder at the 43. Knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. The tackle was made by Eric Warfield, number 44. 54-yard punt. Desmond Howard has a few. 24-17 Chiefs lead after that 54-yard punt and a 12-yard Desmond Howard return. Oakland takes over with the force at the 46. Randy Jordan in the backfield. John Ritchie. Here's a play fake. Jeff George drills it deep. Derek Brown, the tight end. There's a flag at the 40. Mike Carey.
Personal foul, face mask, 15 yards, defense, number 54. Automatic.
Kansas City Chiefs have now tied the National Football League record for number of penalties in a single season.
Remember, earlier it was Dudley getting his face mask grabbed. Right there, Greg Favors, 54, grabs him by the face mask and pulls him down. And another defensive penalty for the Kansas City Chiefs.
First and goal, Jeff George. With Tim Brown running behind him. Trying to come left, Randy Jordan caught behind the line and driven backwards. And Chester offensive charge.
Well, McLaughlin and that defense, you don't know they're going to get a little bit of run when you get this part of the field, but you've got Jeff George at quarterback for the Raiders, and you can say a lot of things about Jeff George. You can say he acts like a jerk sometimes, and you'd be absolutely right. And you could say he's got a bad image, and you'd be absolutely right. And you could say maybe he shouldn't be back here next year, salary or not, and you'd be absolutely right. But don't you ever doubt this guy's arm, and he showed you his arm on that last pass.
Second down.
Jet early, but Jet gives that little push with the left arm to cause that separation. But Jeff George threw that ball behind the back of his receiver. The short underthrow we've seen so many quarterbacks use this year.
Greg Davis on for the tie. We're tied at 24 with 9:17 to go in regulation. 124. Deep left side, Tim Brown has the ball, and he is out of bounds to stop the clock at the 48-yard line.
Wait, talk about dotting the I. Remember earlier the catch by Derek Alexander where he caught it, the first foot got down, then the second foot didn't? Watch the feet of Tim Brown here on this pass from Jeff George. 1, 2, 3. He gets 3 steps down in about a yard area. That's just quality wide receiver work.
Tim Brown now 5 yards short of 1,000 yards receiving for the season. That one goes through the hands of Ricky Dudley. Ty Parton got deep.
Arms got a little short on him, didn't they? Not a bunch. I mean, he's a big physical tight end. So, I mean, I'm not going to accuse him of short arming it, but the extenders didn't quite engage. See, the ball gets out on his hands. The arms never get unbent. Jeff George knows he laid it in the right place, and I've said it before, don't doubt this guy's arm. You might doubt his head, but don't doubt his arm.
There were noises from swamp creatures there. Second down and 10. Quick delivery. That one's incomplete.
Another example of Jeff George's arm and the fact there's not too many spots he doesn't think he can't put a ball.
Terry Mickens, the intended receiver. 10. Blitz. George buried. Derek Thomas had 2. Derek Thomas began the 1998 season sacking Jeff George 6 times. He gets him for the first time this afternoon, but he had a previous sack on Wade Wilson.
Before the last drive, I mentioned the fact that the offensive line has to step up and be a difference maker. The last drive, they were. On this drive, they definitely are, because Derek Thomas decides that Mo Collins is nothing more than a large silver and black speed bump impediment for him to get around on his way to the quarterback. This up, but they better
do it. Tell you
what happened, Randy, earlier this week for the first time in over a year, John Elway stood up and addressed the team. And the essence of his remarks, hey, loosen up, guys. Enjoying this game. It was almost as if when they lost to New York, a lance was boiled. And now the concern has started after their loss to Miami. Battle for the ball, and the Raiders get it.
The far official was pointing to the ground.
All right, we're going to have a conference. Greg Biekert, here's Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, they're saying the whistle was blown and the hand was pointing to the ground.
I think I've got to agree with Marty as far as what are the whistles for.
Listen to this. That was a whistle. One more time. Look at Riddick. Van Moore is coming in. Ball is coming out. Good call. Took long enough, but good call.
Here's Jeff George. Hauled down. Here's George. There's Mickens. First down at the 32-yard line. 19-yard gain. Reggie Tongue makes the tackle. We have reached the 2-minute warning. Kansas City leads it by 7. Blitz. George lets it go. at the 40, and surprise, surprise, another flag.
This is going to be against Marty's defense. It's going to be holding, I think, against the Kansas City defense.
Holding. Defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Call that holding penalty on Mark McMillan. There he is at the top of the screen. Working against James Jett. Watch the hands. Yank. When you fold the 2 over the 8 on a guy wearing 82, that means holding.
The Kansas City Chiefs have a rather ignominious spot in the record book. 157 penalties, a single season record. Here's George, right side. Tim Brown is now gone over 1,000 yards in receptions again. 17 on that game.
These Raiders are trying to answer a Kansas City football team that's really found a way to do about everything right in this second half. Kansas City has outscored the Raiders coming into this game 171 to 79 in the fourth quarter. In these games, they've won 16 out of 18 of. They did it this game, but Raiders are trying to find a way to come back at 7 points down.
Jeff George looks left, incomplete.
His arm.
Second down and 10, 31-24.
Chester McLaughlin jumping on the Jeff George bark.
Trying to make sure. A lot of time for George, deep in the middle. Incomplete. Jerome Woods defending, intended for James Jett. Third down.
Part of the field to hide it.
3rd and 5. Comes the blitz. Reggie Tom got to Jeff George about the time he let it go.
Absolutely.
4th and 5. Back split behind Jeff George. Now George backed out. Left side. The ball goes over on down. Intended for Mickens. Robert Williams was defending. Learn that you need to coach every player on your roster, because you never know when injuries dictate the use of someone at the mid-season point.
It shouldn't be lost in this loss in the last game of the year, and the fact they're finishing 8-8, that this is a football team in Oakland that was 4-12 last year and was in complete disarray when John Gruden was hired by Al Davis. This young guy is going to make a huge difference for this franchise down the road. He is a high-quality football player.
Kansas City wins it. They finished the 1998 season with a 7-9 mark. And John Gruden's Oakland Raiders, one time 7-3, had a 4-game losing streak. They lose their final game and they wind up at the 500 mark, 8-8. And for Albert Lewis, 11 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs, the last 5 as a member of the Oakland Raiders, and an affectionate goodbye to his former coach, Marty Schottenheimer.